I just passed $5,000 in revenue as a new Etsy seller. So in this video, I'm talking all about what I did and how you can do the same. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Shay. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad you're here. If you're not new, you totally know the drill and know everything that I've been doing so far this year. But if this is the first video of mine that you have come across, I'm completely new to Etsy. I started my store in January of this year, and my goal is to grow it to a six-figure business by the end of the year. So it's kind of this very massive time-consuming experiment, but on this channel, I share my sales numbers each month, I share strategies and everything I am doing to break into the Etsy marketplace as a beginner. So if that interests you, please like and subscribe and follow along. So I just passed an amazing milestone in my business, which is $5,000 made in my first 100 days. Technically, it was like day 103, I want to say, when I hit that $5,000 mark, but I'm super excited to hit this milestone, especially as such a brand new shop. By the way, my store is a digital product shop. I do sell digital Canva templates. So although I'm super excited to meet this milestone, I have put in a lot of time and effort growing my shop. And I do think that this effort is essential early on because as a brand new shop, the Etsy algorithm really does not like you and you're really at a disadvantage until you start getting those sales and likes and reviews and you start gaining momentum. So that's why I knew I needed to put in a ton of time at the beginning as a brand new beginner on Etsy. Another thing is I had no idea what I was doing on Etsy, so I knew that I needed to practice and keep trying and dedicate a lot of time to keep getting better and improving my digital downloads designs. So if you've watched my other videos, then you know that I have been listing around 3 items per day. I'm actually slightly less than that now, but during my first 100 some odd days, I was listing 3 every single day. And I understand that's a lot and it took a lot of time. I was spending on average, I'd say about 4 hours every single day on Etsy. So if you do the math and you spend 4 hours on something for 100 days and you're only making $5,000 in revenue, not profit, that's not a lot of money per hour. And I understand that. But that's the whole point of this business. It's very intensive at the beginning, but if you can push through and just keep growing your shop, now it gets easier and easier to make sales. And I've definitely seen that in my business. My next $5,000 on Etsy will not take 100 days and it won't take 400 hours either. It will take a lot less time. And so I just hope to continue to decrease the amount of time it takes to make that amount on Etsy and just get more and more streamlined as my shop grows. So on my channel, I go into so much detail about all the specific strategies I am using to grow my shop as a complete beginner on Etsy. But in this video, I actually wanted to just give 5 steps to your first $5,000 on Etsy because these are the steps that I used, and I truly think that this is completely repeatable and you can start seeing success even if you were to start your shop today. So the first step is to choose the right niche. This is talked about so much and it makes sense because it is probably the most important thing. I think if I spent the same amount of time and effort in a niche that just isn't beginner friendly, I think I would have very different results. So the niche that you choose is extremely important. And I do have a video where I go way into depth about how to choose a niche, what kind of niche criteria you should be looking for as a beginner. So I'm not going to dive too far into that. So for more information about that, please check out my video. So step 2 to your first $5,000 on Etsy is to now, once you have a niche, study the crap out of that niche. You need to be figuring out, what do people in that niche want? What are their problems? What are their pain points and issues? What is lacking in the marketplace? What are trends in that niche? What are new emerging trends that maybe haven't gone into that niche yet, but potentially will soon? what products could you make to make the people that are buying in this niche their life easier? So you really want to become an expert on the niche that you are designing products in. And then you also want to go into Etsy and research what is selling well in that niche already. And again, I go way into depth in my niche research vid, but this research component is absolutely essential in figuring out how to design products that will sell in that particular niche. So really dive into it, become an expert, become obsessed with everything about that niche, and learn as much as you can. Step 3, and this is especially essential for digital products makers or for print-on-demand people as well. So you want to learn to design extremely well in your particular niche. So you found your niche, you've done super in-depth research about what that niche actually wants to buy, and now you've got to learn how to make what that niche wants to buy. And this is a long learning process. The first products you make are not going to be your best. You're going to continue to get better and to continue to improve upon your designs. But I actually think that this aspect is maybe the most overlooked part when it comes to traditional Etsy advice, because a lot of people don't talk about how if your designs are not competitive, absolutely nothing else will help you sell it. No amount of SEO, no amount of really anything will help you sell it if your designs are not well made. So this component is so important. You want to really focus and spend a lot of time figuring out how to design what looks great, what's competitive, how to outcompete your competitors. I do have a video about the design process, specifically how to create and find ideas for competitive designs. So I will link that either up above or in the description, where I go into more detail about that. But I really think that that is an essential step that so many new Etsy shops really skip. So learn to make what this niche wants to buy and become really good at making that. It's gonna take practice. Just like with anything, you will get better as you continue to take action towards that. And at least at the beginning, you might not always know exactly what designs are going to do well in this niche, and that's okay. I talk about this in my other videos. So much of this is experimentation. Design different versions, different colors, different styles of your products to try to figure out what is going to sell best in that niche. Okay, so now we are on to step 4 of how I got to my first $5,000. And this step is, if step 3 is not the hiccup, step 4 is definitely the hiccup for most people, and that is to make a plan to consistently design in this niche and to consistently list in this niche. Like I said, I list 3 per day, and I'm telling you, I would not get the results that I have if I was not doing that. If I was just casually listing here and there, once per week, whatever, I would absolutely not be growing my store at the speed that it has. So that is so essential. Once you figure out your niche, you figure out how to design well in that niche, what people want to buy in that niche. Now you've just got to design it and design it extremely consistently and schedule out your days so that you are consistently working on your Etsy designs and working on creating listings. And then the final step, step 5, is to just continue to repeat steps 2 through 4. So that means continuing to research and continuing to find new trends. I think that a lot of my products that I sell well now, I definitely, if I had kind of been tunnel vision and hadn't continued to research this niche, I wouldn't have even found those product ideas. So it's great to do your research at the beginning, but research is a continual process, and it's also based on what's already selling well for you. Dive further into that, double down on that. So along with step 5, I really just want to reiterate that practice is what's going to get you success in Etsy. That's what has gotten me success, and that's what's going to continue to help grow my shop. As I keep making listings, as I keep doing research in the niche, I get better and better at making educated guesses on what products are going to sell well, and what styles, and just what the people in this niche are looking for. You will get better, and it might seem extremely overwhelming at the beginning, but just with anything, with learning any new skill, you're gonna be the worst at the beginning, and you've gotta just keep practicing. So I hope this video was helpful. I really think that those 5 things are what will get you success as a complete beginner on Etsy. I know it's not an easy process. There's a lot of trial and error and a big learning curve as well. So just stick with it and keep getting better. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along with my Etsy journey. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.